Hey, what is up you guys? My name is Tatiana. You're watching Tatiana's Tiny Zoo, and for this week's video, I thought we might do something a little bit different than normal, and that is to take care of all of these houseplants behind me. As you can see, it's kind of a mess. It doesn't look very aesthetic or Instagram worthy or anything like that, and to be honest with you guys, I have been kind of letting all of my houseplants fall to the wayside this year. I haven't been taking very good care of them. Between all my animals and my new business and my outdoor garden and trying to keep up on social media, I've kind of let these guys get a little abused this year. All right, my plants are begging for help, so let's get right into it. So, as you guys can see, it is kind of a mess over here. I have plants that are falling every which way. My bird of paradise is taking over this corner. Some plants are suffering more than others. I'm looking at you, Regal Shield, that's bending over like that. Everybody needs a good repotting. This whole area kind of just needs to be cleaned because you can see all the dead leaves everywhere, and don't even look underneath because the leaf piles under there are insane. But before we can get started with all of that, the very first thing we need to do is go and get some soil. So we're going to visit my favorite plant shop together, and we're going to get some nice fresh soil for these guys and some perlite as well. So we are back actually. Let me show you what I got quick. Starting off here, we have our Fox Farm potting soil. This is a highly recommended brand. It's worked for me really well in the past, so this is the one that I'm going with. But we're not using it by itself. We actually are going to add in some perlite as well. So I have our perlite that we can add in, and this just improves the drainage in the soil. So if you have houseplants and you notice that the soil is very dense and it's not absorbing water very well, or it's molding really fast, this is what you need to add to your soil to make for better drainage and better aeration. We are not going to waste any more time. We are just going to start mixing our soil here. You should notice that pretty much any potting soil that you get, whatever brand you decide to buy, it will already have perlite in it. I just don't think it's enough. So as you can see, hopefully you can see in this bucket, there is a good amount of perlite in here already. It's not enough. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more. And again, with perlite, I think adding too much is better than not adding enough. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a really, really good mix. Make sure all of that perlite is mixed in there. I'm reaching all the way down to the bottom so that I can mix that perlite in. And actually, I think I'm going to add some more, and not only that, I'm going to add one more thing as well. The other thing I'm going to add to this substrate mix is actually just a little bit of mosquito bits. I've talked about this in a different video. I can link it down below. So I use mosquito bits, and I also use a product called Natural. I will show it up on the screen now. But between the two of these products, I have pretty much eradicated any fungus gnats in my collection. These are perfectly safe to use in your houseplants and around your pets. They only affect mosquito larvae and gnat larvae. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of this to the soil so that a couple of these make it into every single pot. I don't want to add too much because I find that those mosquito bits, especially if you just sprinkle them on top of your soil, they will also lead to mold. Actually, I think this is a fine mix, and I'll hold it up so you guys can see what that looks like. But do you guys see the difference and the ratio of perlite to soil in there? You want a lot of perlite. Okay, now that I have some soil here, we are gonna go get started with our repotting. Maybe I will clean up this mess first. All right. I think we are good to go to get started. I have a little cup for soil. I've got the first plant I'm repotting here. It's my Christmas cactus. It is going into a brand new pot. I got these 2 new pots from my friend Thomas. I don't actually know where he got them, but if I figure it out, I will link them down below. And there's no rhyme or reason to the way I'm doing things today. I am just hoping and praying that I have enough bigger pots to move all of my plants into. So let's get started. And I'm doing this on the ground, which is not really my preferred way of repotting plants. So if I look uncomfortable, it's probably because I am a little bit, but that's okay. Let's see how this is gonna sit in here. Perfect. Okay, that is perfect. And I don't even know what you guys can see on my camera because I can't see myself as I'm recording, but I'm just gonna get this knife in here and hopefully I'll be able to pull this plant right out of here. It's been a little while since I've watered, so it should be pretty easy to get him out. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna let him keep most of his old soil, but whatever wants to fall off is fine by me. I'm just not gonna pull. I am repotting these while they're dry, so it is pretty easy to get them out of their old soil. All right, and now I just fill in the blank spaces. For this, I am gonna get kind of up a little bit higher. All right, and I'm just gonna pour the new soil in to fill in all the cracks. And I'm gonna make sure that this is centered and pull any dead leaves out of here. And let's keep filling it in around the sides here. And this is my new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie cup. It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it already, you should absolutely be checking it out. I'm just gonna pack that soil down a little bit, but I don't wanna pack it too tight. I'm just used to calling it substrate, so I think throughout this video I might accidentally call this soil substrate. You're just gonna have to ignore me. I usually deal with reptiles. This guy is pretty good to go, I would say. I didn't even check to see if he looks good from this front angle where the words are, and he doesn't really, but that's okay. Hopefully he'll bounce back. The other thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up the drainage hole down here because I don't want to leave that plugged up. All right, that is one guy down. Good job, me. Okay, we got our first guy repotted, which means I have his old pot. I'm all about reusing old plant pots. I don't go out and buy new ones every time, only when I need them. And then I still have this guy. So we have to find the perfect plants to be upgraded into these pots. And I think I have a couple, but this one is doing really well. It's my Million Hearts. This plant is really enjoying living here in my reptile room where it's nice and warm and humid. We'll put it into this old Christmas cactus. Just gonna do a little bit because I think this guy isn't gonna need a lot of this new soil. I'm gonna scrape the edges with a knife again just to make sure it's really easy for me to pull out. There we go, we got it. Let's get some of this old soil off. Just again, whatever will fall off as I'm kind of playing with it here. I'm not pulling, I'm just trying to get as much of it off as I can. And then these ones that I'm repotting today, because I don't think I'm gonna get to all of them today. I just don't have time. But the ones that do get done today, I'll make sure to water them really well too, because that helps the roots take hold of their new soil and helps them feel better. That is this plant. I mean, look at how long these are. Isn't that crazy? They're beautiful. So I'm gonna put her back before I have casualties. I need her somewhere high up so she sits way at the top of my reptile shelf. So we're just gonna keep our pots keep getting smaller and smaller, which means eventually I won't be able to reuse the pot. But for now, I have the perfect plant to go in this guy. As you can see, it's pretty tall. I mean, I'm sitting here on the ground. Now I'm sitting, and it's taller than me sitting. It is a type of snake plant, and it has to, it has to lean against the wall and the window behind it, because otherwise this pot that it's in is too small, so it falls over all the time. Originally, I bought it when it was like this big, because I wanted to use it in a reptile enclosure. But now it's so tall, I don't even know what enclosure to put it in. So let me know in the comments if you think I should still try to fit this into a reptile enclosure, or if I should just leave it as a cool house plant. Let us put it into a heavier pot, shall we, so that it stops tipping over on me. Okay, Now, I don't know if I'm gonna have any problems. Yeah, I didn't even think I needed the knife for that guy. And he is gonna sit in there so good. All right, that's this half. Let's see if I can do it without spinning him around. And I'll press it down. Oh, he looks so funny. Perfect. Now it won't be tipping over anymore. Okay, so that leaves this guy, who is gonna get put into the Leave Me Alone pot. All right, jade it is, and my jade is right here. It was given to me by a very lovely coworker that I used to have when I worked at the nature center. So Laura, if you're watching this video, I don't think you watch my videos, but just in case, thank you for the wonderful plant. It has been in its original pot since you gave it to me, so I'm sorry about that. But let's go ahead and give this guy a much-deserved upgrade. We're gonna start with the usual, putting some soil in here. And now we're gonna try and pull this guy out of his pot. I'm gonna give it a good squeeze. It's probably too big to fit in the frame, huh? Okay, I don't actually know what the best way to approach this is. And we're having casualties, Okay, well that came out pretty easily. I'm gonna get him upright again. This is all very touch and go here. And then I'm gonna try and center it. So I kind of want it to be like that almost. And now let's fill in around this jade. And I don't want to bury it too much because I don't want the stalk or anything to rot. We need another scoop, and he's standing up on his own. Okay, this guy is looking so much better. Look at how beautiful we are. So with those 4 plants repotted, I'm actually going to shift gears away from fresh soil and fresh pots for my plants because I ran out of big pots. And I'm going to shift gears to something else that's been bothering me a lot lately, and that is these propagation jars that I have. This guy still looks good. It's clean. I change the water regularly, but this one is gnarly. It's looking pretty gross, and in fact, this whole pilea situation is bothering me a little bit. So let's get started. Okay, I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of washing that little propagation mason jar up, and let's go take care of all of these little pilea babies. Let's start with the ones that I took out. You guys see how it's curved right here? I actually don't want it to grow like that. I want it to grow straight up and down. So I'm sorry for this guy and all of the roots that he's put out, but I'm actually gonna snip him right here, and I'm gonna restart that growth. Oh, and I'm gonna throw him behind my plant shelf, and there he is. Once it starts to grow some roots, I can give him away. For this one, I'm taking a little bit more of those famous pilea leaves off so that it can actually sit inside the pot a little bit and develop those roots. And let's do the same thing here with the rest of these babies. Push that base into the water here. That is everyone in this, which means I have a new pot available for repotting. Okay, it's getting progressively messier in here. I think I'm almost done with the repotting that I wanted to do today. I'm planning on leaving the biggest ones until tomorrow, but it'll still be in the same video. But for today, I have a couple more things that I want to finish, including this guy right here, now that I have a brand new pot to put it in. So this little Swiss cheese monstera, philodendron monstera, I think, is going to be put back into this pot. Originally, I had it in a pot hanging up on one of those macrame hangers, and it died because I forgot to look up and water it frequently enough, and I managed to save one little clipping from this plant. Aren't these roots just beautiful? Look at them. They're so stunning. It's actually 2 plants, so I can arrange them however I want. I think I have to trim this here because I don't really see anything growing on this vine here, but I'm going to give it a couple more weeks to try and produce something. and I'm gonna leave it towards the top. So let us start burying it. That is one more plant. Repotted. Oh, I have to be careful with this guy because it is so big. Oh my God. Is it even fitting in the frame? Holy crap. Are we in frame? I have to go check. This is insane. This rubber tree is just absolutely massive. So what I want to do with this guy is, as you can see, it's a leaner. And I had a stake, a plastic stake holding it up, but it wasn't working very well and this plant was actually just pulling the stake over. So I got this sod stake. It's for getting sod to stay down in your yard, I'm pretty sure. And hopefully this will work better. So we will put it right next to the plant and then we will zip tie the plant up to it like this. But first I want to give it some fresh soil as well. I almost said substrate again. I could never be a plant channel. Let's get some new soil in here. And then this will be the last plant for today because I am very sweaty and I don't want to do this anymore. And the big plants will just be future Tatiana's problem, which is nice for you guys because the future is only a couple seconds away. Maybe I should put them in here. There it goes. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is a huge plant. It's a pretty big pot. But the roots, you know, it's not root bound, so I don't think it needs a pot upgrade as much as it just needs fresh soil and to be staked up. But this is like really one of the prides of my collection because it is just such a stunning plant. All right, so that is all of the old soil. Oh my gosh, it's all over the place. Have I told you lately that my reptile room is like, it's like 80 plus degrees in here? So every time I shoot a video, I'm like sweating. Oh my God. Okay. I think that would be good. And I'm gonna do the stake right now so that I can bury the stake really nice and deep in here. Surround it with soil and then zip tie this guy upright as much as possible. We're just gonna start adding. Spoon, you are in my way at the moment. And this is gonna take up the rest of today's soil, so this is gonna be perfect, actually. I will be so sad if this rubber tree dies because look at how big it is. This was also a plant I bought to put into a reptile enclosure. I think I even did at one point put it into Eponine's enclosure, and then it just outgrew it so fast that it wasn't worth it as a terrarium plant in there. It is such a heavy plant, I might even get a second zip tie. And depending on which way I position this pot, you might not even see the stake behind this rubber tree. All right, perfect. So we are going to spend some time and do a little cleaning montage. We're going to clean everything up. Oh my goodness. How do you even approach cleaning in here? Oh my goodness, I'm so warm and so sweaty and I would just really like to shower. Oh, but I have to do this. I have to do it. I'm gonna get a little treat after this. Who else gives themselves a nice little treat after completing a task? That's me with every task that I do. I give myself a nice little treat afterwards. Okay, that is all present me, which for you guys is past me, has in her today. I really need to go shower and get out of this humid room because it is so sweaty in here and I just feel filthy. But in just a couple seconds, through the magic of editing, future Tatiana is here. So as you can see from everything that's around me, I kind of changed up a couple of things over the last day and a half. I didn't film it just because I already have an hour and 40 minutes worth of footage from the other day, and I didn't want to add more to that. This video is probably already like a half hour long, but as you can see, I did change the direction of the shelf itself. So this is the direction that it's supposed to be in the way that it's advertised on Amazon. I'll include a link to it down in the description below. But unfortunately, when you have big plants like I do, you kind of run out of space really quickly, which is why I added the plywood boards, and I faced it front because that gave me more surface area to put plants on. But I think this way looks nicer, more aesthetic. I just am a little tight for space now. Let me know in the comments below if you like it this way or the way that I had it before. I only have a couple of plants left that I wanted to take care of, this guy included. Some of them just need fresh soil and some of them need to be repotted. We're gonna try to make it snappy today, so I'm gonna be working quickly and maybe not talking as much. But the last plant that we're gonna get to is this guy right here. And I should have done him when Tyler was home on his day off yesterday, but I was feeling lazy and I didn't want to. So now I have to tackle him all by myself. But let's get started with the smaller, easier ones first. Okay, this plant here, I don't actually know if it needs to be repotted. It's been very sad. I don't know if it's because it's root bound or because I've just been forgetting to water it. But we will look inside and see. If it's not root bound, I will just give it some fresh soil. If it is root bound, I have a pot right here. Yeah, it doesn't seem too root bound to me, just maybe a little bit dry. So let's give it some fresh soil. I'll try to be better about watering it. And that's all I think this one needs. Okay, that guy is some fresh soil. Hopefully we'll be doing better and I will be better about watering it regularly. Okay, same thing with this really sad Regal shield. I don't know if I've just not been regular enough on watering or if it's root bound. So we're gonna take her out and see. It has had some new growth recently, which is a good sign, but it used to be way more beautiful than just one little scrawny leaf. Hopefully we can get it back to where it was. Oh, it might be more root bound than the other one actually. Well, you know what? This one probably could use with an upgrade, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Good thing I have a pot right here that it would be perfect for. All right. I think this guy is done also. And hopefully it'll bounce back. We will see. Okay, we are on to the last one, the bad boy, the one I'm a little bit scared of. Let's turn him this way so that you can at least see what I'm doing. I will probably be turning... Oh, no, that doesn't work because now you can't see me. Well, it is what it is, huh? This bird of paradise started as a plant that was this tall. Another plant I tried to put into a reptile enclosure, and now maybe a chameleon could use this if I had a free roaming chameleon, but it is slowly taking over my whole house, and lately it's been a bit sadder than normal. So we're gonna pop him out of this pot here and give him some fresh soil. I don't think it will be root bound. I'm praying it's not root bound because I don't have a bigger pot than this at the moment, but a little fresh soil, some good nutrients could never hurt. And then I'm gonna restake it as well because, oh my God, this thing is leaning like crazy. So wish me luck. I don't know if I can do it as one person, but I'm gonna try my best. I don't even know where to start with this guy. I'm gonna try to leave the stake in and then worry about restaking it after I've given it fresh soil. I think that's the course of action I'm gonna take here. Let's start by scraping the sides of this pot. Oh no, I think we are root bound. What am I gonna do? I don't have a bigger pot for you at the moment. I'm scared of what I'm about to find here once I lay this guy down. I don't think it's gonna be good. I'm just very carefully gonna lay him onto the floor. And I'm gonna support the stalk like a smart person. And I'm just committed to making a mess at this point in my life. On my socks, on my socks. Okay. This will make it easier to pull them out. Oh, my socks. All right, let's see what's going on in here. Oh, he's gonna come out easily. That's nice. I'm gonna have to straddle this thing, I think. Oh, we're really stuck in there. I bet plant experts are gonna be cringing at the way I'm manhandling these guys today. We're really stuck in here. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh, I can't get it out. Ugh, frig. Should I tilt it back up and try and pull them out? I'm scared to pull any harder. Oh, there's gotta be a root stuck somewhere. I just don't have enough hands. Oh, we got it. We did it. I'm so warm. We might have had a casualty. Whew, oh my gosh. That was a workout. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's get some of this dirt out of here so that I can work, huh? Really quick before I do anything else. Now that we got it out of there, let's put some fresh soil in here, and then let's get this bad boy back in this pot. Looking at its roots, I actually don't think it's too root bound. It is, I mean, a little bit cramped in there, but I think because it's winter now, so we should be pretty much done growing for the season, I'm gonna leave it, and then maybe early next year I will pot it into something bigger. This is just all I have right now. So we're just gonna do some fresh soil and hope that that's enough. All right, so brand new soil and new stakes is what we're gonna give this guy. I'm gonna try and center him as much as I can. I can't really move him around too much. Oh God, his leaves are everywhere. I mean, the end goal for me would be to move him out of the reptile room eventually because it's getting way too big to be in here. Oh, we did bend one of these. Hopefully it'll bounce back, but I am not entirely sure. It is growing a new leaf right here, which is cool. All right, now we're gonna work on staking it. I just have to cut all of the string that's holding it up at the moment. Okay, it's like climbing through the jungle in here. I couldn't find twine, so I'm gonna use ribbon, which I think is fine. But first, I have to cut all of these old ones off. So, oh gosh. Okay, so what we're gonna do is cut off these lower leaves, and this guy too. And now we are gonna get this stake in a better position and tie the leaves back up. We'll see. I'm gonna try this pole because I think it's might be taller. So this will kind of help hold it up, and I might even be able to reuse some of this twine here and kind of re-tie it up. Something like that. Just because I want it to take up less room. That's two. Let's do another one. This one we bent. I I kind of damaged it, but I wonder if by tying it up like this, I can save it. We're gonna try. Let me try and put him back and see if I can arrange him in a way that makes sense before I stake any more of him up. Ugh. Oh boy. Buddy boy. All right, let's see. I want him to go back over here. Not bad. I'd say it's taking up less room. Let me look from back here. Yeah, it looks like a jungle in here. What do you guys think? All right, so I have filmed all of my aesthetic B-roll. I have watered all my plants really well. I have vacuumed and cleaned up in here, which means I am all done. I'm getting out of this 85-degree room. If you've made it to the end of this video, you are an incredible champion because it's probably like 30 or 35 minutes long at this point, but that is how long it took me to repot all of these plants. It was insane. Thank you for sticking with me. A really big and special shout out to all my Patreon supporters. My adventures in content creation and managing my small business couldn't be possible without you guys. As always, my name is Tatiana. You're watching Tatiana's Tiny Zoo, and I'll see you in the next video.